Konami in the OCG has just announced a brand new batch of GX anime cards that nobody expected. And honestly, neither did I. I myself did not expect these anime cards to finally get printed after almost 20 years. But after so long, here we are. Here we are. This now these new cards will be a part of a brand new set. Will be a part of a brand new um set known as the limited pack GX Raw Yellow, which I believe they did a limited GX pack for Slifer. Now they're doing one for Raw, and eventually they will be doing one for Obelisk at some point, which no one really knows when that will happen. But we do know that this set will be released sometime in the summer. However, pre-orders have already begun because they started on April 14th, and they will continue until May 11th, later next month at midnight. So 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 for those who want to get their hands on this set, now is the time, because you only have a few weeks left to pick them up, and they are 3,600 yen per box, which I believe is like what, 10, 15, maybe $20. So that's not bad. That's not too bad. But there are a bunch of new cards to talk about, and a shit ton of reprints that we will also be talking about in this video. So I am not going to waste any time. I'm going to get straight into it, because a lot of these might be broken, others not so much. So we are going to kick things off with Dark Tyranno, which was a card used by none other than Hasselberry. Shoutouts to him in the GX anime. 7-star Earth Dino, 2600 attack, 1800 defense. And the first effect and the third effect are both once per turn. The first effect reads, during your main phase, if a spell or effect was activated this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand. Second effect reads, can attack directly if the only monsters your opponent controls are in defense. Third effect reads, if this card is sent to the grave, you can add one level 8 or higher dino from your deck to your hand. Then, if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon that monster from your hand. Okay. So not only is this a Cyber Dragon, but think about this. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, you can add that card to your hand and special summon it. Just without any hesitation. Yeah. Enough said. I have a feeling that True King Dinos with this card might end up becoming a very powerful force to be reckoned with. However, what's cool about this is that again it's as I said, right? So let's say for example, for example, your opponent activates a draw card. Like let's say, just as a random example, I'm not saying that it would happen, but let's say your opponent activates Pot of Greed. Let's just say that you activate Ash Blossom, and your opponent chains Callbind. You can then chain Dark Tyranno's effect, special summon it from your hand, and the entire chain resolves. And what's even more cool is that if your opponent activates a card let's say Lightning Storm, to remove all of your attack position monsters. If Dark Tyranno is in attack position and it gets popped, guess what? Guess what? You can add Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to your hand from the deck, and you get to side draw that card out without any hesitation. Absolutely busted. Absolutely busted. Next up, we've got Arcana Force 12, the Hanged Man. Which, honestly, I never would have expected Sartorius to get any new support in a long time. I never would have expected it, but here we are. Definitely a very creepy card, to say the very least. And it kind of, if you look at it, it kind of looks like something out of that movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas. It actually kind of looks like that in a way. Really creepy, really creepy. 6-star Light Fairy, 2200 attack and defense. The first effect is a once per turn that reads, when a card or effect is activated as a quick effect, you can reveal this card in your hand. Special summon one Arcana Force monster from your hand in defense. Second effect reads, if this card is summoned, toss a coin and this card gains the appropriate effect. Heads, destroy one monster you control, and if you do, take damage equal to its original attack. Tails, destroy a monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to them equal to its original attack. The weird thing that I find that I've noticed about the Arcana Force monsters is that all of their coin toss effects are essentially double-edged swords. It's like for some of the Arcana Force monsters, you want their effects to benefit you, but you don't want those effects to benefit your opponent. And this card actually does that because if you end up popping one of your monsters, if it has a graveyard effect that can summon out a monster or do something, or like do searches or whatever, that's actually pretty busted. But if your opponent has the same ordeal, well, yeah. So I think it's pretty safe to say that that the Arcana Force deck, it's more of an anti-meta strat, but it's still a very cool card nonetheless. Next up, we've got Candelato, the Phantom Beast of Light. So to give some context with this card, this was used by some robot in another dimension against Jaden, who had just lost his will, if you will. If he lost his will to duel, if that makes sense, to against Aster. And supposedly the lore was that Jaden was supposed to join the Society of Light after losing to Aster, but that did not happen. But Candelato is a 12-star light beast with 0 attack and defense, and the first and third effects are both once per turn. The first effect reads, you can discard 2 other cards, special summon this card from your hand, then add 1 card from your deck to your hand that has a coin tossing effect. Second effect, gains 1,000 attack and defense for each card in your hand. Third effect, when a card or effect is activated that includes an effect that adds a card from the deck to the hand, as a quick effect, you can negate that effect. So this is basically Ash Blossom on a 12-star body, and again, it's essentially a Cyber Dragon, but the cost is that you have to discard 2 cards, which on paper that seems like a good idea to sacrifice 2 of your best cards to bring this card out. But if you have a way to recycle your hand and add more cards to your hand, then this card's attack can go up to 6,000, which theoretically, yes, it could be a good thing, but let's be real. Candelato, it's basically Slifer the Sky Dragon, just with different effects. Excuse me. So I wouldn't really say that this card's a good card, but it does have an effect negation, so it's not too bad. Next up, we have Plasma Warrior Etom, which was Bastion's card actually. So a little bit more Magna Warrior support. 8-star Light Thunder with 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. Literally the same stats as a Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is very hilarious. It says that this card is always treated as a Magna Warrior card. Cannot be normal summoned or said, must be special summoned from your hand or grave by tributing a level 7 or higher monster. You can only special summon this card once per turn this way. And the effect reads as follows. Once per turn, you can send one Magna Warrior or Magna Warrior monster from your deck to the grave, except this card, and for the rest of this turn, this card's original attack becomes 1,500. Also, it can attack directly. I mean, dealing your opponent 1,500 damage, it's not bad. But the way that they worded this card, it's so fucking bad. I mean, yeah, sure, Magna Warriors could potentially become a very powerful strat, but it's more of a rogue deck, if that makes sense. And in my honest opinion, I think Magna Warriors, they're better suited in Genesis format rather than the current format, because at least with Genesis format, you can use cards that are banned that can make the deck very strong. That can make this deck hella strong. So definitely better suited for Genesis format, but that's just my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but that's my personal opinion. Next up, we've got White Knight. We have White Knight Lord. So the Society of Light is getting more support, which is insane. The last bit of support that we got, I think, was White Veil and Armed Dragon level 10 White, I think it was called. So that was it. That was literally it. And I think White Knight Queen was another one that we got. Other than that, I don't think we got anything else. If my memory serves right. 7-star Light Warrior, 2,000 attack and defense, and the first effect is a once per turn that reads you can banish 3 monsters from your grave, special summon this card from your hand. Then you can apply one of these effects. Special summon one White Knight or White Knight monster from your hand or deck. Add 1 White Veil from your deck to your hand. Second effect reads, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, change that opponent's monster's attack to 0. Third effect reads, if this card is destroyed by your opponent, inflict 1,000 damage to them. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it can search out White Veil. It can search out for pretty much any other White Knight card at your disposal. In fact, I actually might have White. I think I still have my copy of White Veil in my binder. Give me 1 second, guys. I think I might still have it. That's if I can find it. Let's see. Let's see. White Veil, White Veil. Where is my copy of White Veil? I'm pretty sure that I put it in this binder. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Wait, right here. Right here. Right here, you guys. There's my copy of White Veil that I pulled from Duel Saga a long time ago. If you guys have not checked out those openings, I actually did it in two parts because there was a lot of packaging that I had to deal with. So definitely check out those videos if you haven't already. But obviously White Veil is an equip spell that reads as follows. While the equipped monster battles, your opponent cannot activate any spells or traps until the end of the damage step. When an attack is declared involving the equipped monster, face-up spell and traps your opponent controls have their effects negated until the end of the turn. Until the end of the damage step, even if this card leaves the field. When the equipped monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. When this face-up card in a player's spell and trap zone leaves the field, that player takes 3,000 damage. So this literally can stop. This literally can stop everything. It can stop. It can stop back row. It can stop. It can also act as a Harpy's Feather Duster, which is absolutely nuts. This card is actually kind of cracked. So imagine equipping White Veil to White Knight Lord. As I'm trying to put my binder back, and I literally just dropped my bottle of lotion. Huh? That I use. Huh? Anyway, moving on. So imagine equipping White Veil to White Knight Lord. You essentially have yourself a very strong board where not only can you where you can decrease your opponent's monster's attack to 0, but it can also but with White Veil, you literally stop their back row. So no matter what back row they have, they can't use. So no matter what back row they have, they can't use it at all. They can't use Impulse. They can't use cards like Imperm. They can't use what is it? Evenly Matched. Nothing. So this card is actually kind of sick. So that's actually kind of sick. Next up we have Invincible Demise Lord. So this was a card that was used by some guy from North Academy in the GX anime, and he battled Jaden with it, which is kind of cool. And he's the guy that introduced the world to that card Slash Draw. So it's kind of cool. 6-star Dark Fiend, 1300 attack, 2000 defense. Both of its effects are once per turn, but you can only use them once per turn each. First effect, during the end phase, if a monster was destroyed by battle this turn, you can special summon this card from your hand or grave, and if Invincible Demise Lord was destroyed by battle this turn, this card's original attack becomes 3,000, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Second effect reads, during your main phase, you can reveal this card in your deck, including Slash Draw, equal to the number of cards your opponent controls +1, and place those revealed on the top of the deck in any order. So this basically ensures that the Slash Draw plays become very busted. However, Slash Draw nowadays it's not that good, especially because of the fact that it's only at 1 now, so it's not that good. And because of that, neither is this card. Next up we've got Elemental Hero Clay Guardian. However, the OCG has decided to name it Clay Guardman, which makes no sense at all. But here it is. And it is a 4-star Earth Warrior fusion with 0 attack, 2800 defense, and requires 1 elemental hero, monster, plus a warrior. And the first effect is a once per turn that reads, if this card is special summoned, you can special summon 1 elemental hero monster from your deck. Then, if your opponent controls the card, you can inflict 400 damage to them for each. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for heroes. Second effect reads, other elemental hero monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So here's the interesting thing about this card. Jaden in the GX anime, from what I remember, he used the spell card Metamorphosis on his Clayman, and he turned it into Clay Guardian. Which I actually have a copy of Metamorphosis in my GOAT deck right here. If I can try it out. So, for those who don't know, GOAT decks are always going to be like chaos decks, like Chaos Control and whatnot. So here's my copy of Metamorphosis that I got from Collectible Exchange almost a year ago. Shoutouts to them. Shoutouts to Collectible Exchange for Metamorphosis. And what I find very funny is that on Master Duel, I found out that on Master Duel, Metamorphosis is legal at 3 copies now. So it's gonna be interesting to see like what decks are gonna abuse Metamorphosis. Although I don't think there will be any, but you never know. But the cool thing about Clay Guardian is that, again, you get to summon out another body from your deck. You get to inflict 400 damage to your opponent, and not only that, but this card also protects your entire board from being destroyed by battle or card effects. So the only way to pop the board is if Clay Guardian got popped himself, which is kind of insane. If I'm being real, that's actually kind of nuts. Would I say that the card would be suitable in today's meta, in today's hero decks? I mean, it's possible. It's highly possible, but you never know. Never know. Next up, we've got Doll Hammer. Which is a normal spell, and both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads target a monster you control, destroy, and if you do, draw 2 cards. Then you can change the battle position of one opponent's monster. Second effect reads, if a monster is special summoned from your grave while this card is in your grave, you can add this card to your hand. Oh my god. Okay. Can I just say that this is Pot of Greed on steroids? Did I mention that? Did I mention Pot of Greed? Because that's what this card is. Literally, it's a recyclable Pot of Greed. You pop one of your monsters, you draw 2 cards, and if you summon a monster from your grave, or if your opponent summons a monster from your grave, you add this card to your hand, and you repeat the cycle over and over and over and over and over again. Excuse me, which is insane. This card ultimately ensures that you get to your combo pieces without hesitation. And this card might just end up becoming one of the most broken cards in the meta. 100%. Absolutely insane. Next up, we've got Quick Summon. Which is a quick play spell with the second effect being a once per turn. The first effect reads, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon or set a monster. When you do so this way, if your opponent controls a monster, you can normal summon a level 5 or higher monster without tributing. Second effect reads, during your main phase, if this card is in your grave, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it, add one level 5 or higher monster from your deck or grave to your hand. That can be normal summon or set. Then, immediately after this effect resolves, normal tribute summon it. I mean, it's essentially a double summon. You get to summon out monsters without even making any tributes. I mean, this card can ultimately work with decks like it can work with decks like Blue Eyes, Dark Magician. It can work on it can work with Rika Fairies, which to be fair, Rika Fairies could make their way back into the meta. It's just but the condition would have to be super, like, it would have to be like on point, if that makes sense. But there are a few other decks that can abuse this card. The Arcana Forest deck can abuse this card. Orcus can also abuse this card. Mech Knights can also abuse it. So there are quite a few a few decks that can definitely make use of this card. But I've got a feeling that at some point, once we do get these cards printed in the TCG, I have a feeling that we might end up seeing this card get played a lot, which is very possible. Next up, we've got D Burst. So a little bit of Destiny Hero support, which is a normal spell, and it says that you can only activate one copy of this card per turn, but it has two separate effects. The first one reads, target one face-up spell you control, destroy it, and if you do, draw one card. Then, if you control a Destiny Hero monster, you can spell summon one Destiny Hero from your hand or grave, or banishment. Second effect reads, if a monster equipped with an equipped card or Destiny Hero Dogma attacks, at the end of the damage step, you can banish the card from your grave. That monster can make a second attack in a row. So let's say, for example, your opponent has. So here's the thing. It is essentially a 2-for-1, which I think theoretically, I don't know if the ruling says that you can pop D Burst itself, because if you do, then it essentially becomes a 1-for-1. And then just right off the bat, if you have a Destiny Hero in your bash pile, so let's say for example, you have, I'll say, Destiny Hero Drill Dark in your bash pile, right? You get to summon out Drill Dark from your bash pile right off the bat, and if you have Mass Change set, you can chain Mass Change, put Drill Dark into the graveyard, summon out Dark Law, and now you have a very powerful 2400 beat stick on board, which is insane. And if you have and if your copy of Destiny Hero Dogma attacks, it can literally make a second attack in a row, which could potentially threaten lethal. I mean that's not bad. That's not bad. We are also as well getting the anime artwork version of Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, which is really cool. We're also getting and actually it will also be its newest alternate art for Hamon, which is really cool. We are also getting as well Destiny Hero Plasma with the anime accurate blue name text. So from the anime, I think in GX, um, the name text was blue. So there is the artwork. There we go. Blue D. And then there are also a shit ton of reprints that will be in this new raw yellow set. So the reprints will be as follow: Elemental Hero Neos, Neospacian Aqua Dolphin, Flare Scarab, Air Hummingbird, Grand Mole, Glowmoss, Dark Panther, Card Trooper, Destiny Hero Doomlord, Captain Tenacious, Diamond Dude, Dreadmaster, Double Dude, Dogma, Dasher, Plasma, Malicious, Disc Commander, Arcana Force 21 The World, Arcana Force Extra The Light Ruler, White Knight Dragon, that was another one that I was thinking about. Elemental Hero Aqua Neos, Flare Neos, Glow Neos, Dark Neos, Grand Neos, Chimera Tech Overdragon, Light Barrier, Overload Fusion, and Hamon Lord of Striking Thunder. And it also says here that Hamon Lord of Striking Thunder and the 10 Destiny Hero cards will be included in a special version that reproduces the designs they had in the anime. So that's actually really cool. So yeah, so those are all of the new cards that will be in the limited pack GX Raw Yellow set. I cannot wait to see what strategies players will come up with these new cards. Because I mean, for all we know, we could be looking at a format where those decks, where the Arcana decks, True King Dino, or perhaps like pure Dino, if you will, heroes could potentially make their way into the meta and break the current format. Because right now the current format, it's Radiant Typhoon and anything yummy. Literally, that's literally what it is, which is insane. So, who knows? But we will just have to wait and see. But with that being said, that'll do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more card discussions in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.